And then also,
My bad.
and then
I forgot to record it.
no worries. So there was an entry here after this lower high was confirmed. It did pull back and give us another entry, in which case you probably would have had to be on a very low time frame to catch this move because obviously, I mean, it just surged within this 4 hours. So there probably was an entry there, probably more 30-minute, 15-minute, maybe less. But either way, there were definite setups there. And then it plummeted as the dollar rallied, which makes sense here. So we hit our target and then exceeded that. So now, same thing, we're going to be looking next week to reanalyze, waiting for some pullbacks. Because right now, you obviously can't short this. We want to short it because we're in a bearish trend, but you can't actually place a trade because it's overextended. So we'll cover those analyses
Yeah, and
this Sunday,
at least
couple
on
days.
the like for a swing trade, guys. So if you're trying to swing trade this, it would be a disaster to take a sell right now. If you're
Right.
trying to
So
more like
that's
trade with the trend, go down to the 30-minute, 15-minute, then you could try to sell on that time frame, but definitely don't be trying to swing trade this one right now.
right. Absolutely. Yeah, that's so I guess that is good to clarify. Every recommendation I'm giving you guys is based on swing trading analysis. We're on the 4 hour here. It's based on, we're going to be looking to hold trades for a couple days. We're waiting to ride the overall trend, for the 4 hours. So that's why I wouldn't recommend, shorting yet. We got to wait for a pullback, wait for normal market structure. But yeah, Angela's absolutely right. If you have an adapted lower time frame strategy, there's no reason you couldn't, enter the market and find some other setups. But yeah, so AU is looking pretty good. Played out well. I mean, this is just precision to the max right here. So that was nice to see. So yeah, that's AU. Let's jump over to live chart real quick. Okay, yep. So this was that trade. We had our max target down here near the weekly. It literally went from entry pretty much if you entered on this secondary lower high from entry to TP. Phenomenal trade, 2-1, and then yeah. So we have to wait for next week. All right, looking good on AJ, but that is also a major level that we just transitioned through. So this weekly was pretty much holding daily structure all the way back here. Let me go to the daily real quick. So this level here, this weekly was holding daily structure. Look at this, higher low first here. We confirmed it again here, came back and tested, came back here, and then blew through that level. So now we're effectively looking for a transition to the bears on the daily time frame here. And to confirm that, we need a lower high. You guys can see that, and then we'll target lower down towards other major support levels. Okay, so we'll get into that on Sunday, but playing out pretty well. Let's get into AJ. So we were consolidating for a while here. There were really only two options since we were at the bottom of this range. It was either going to reverse or it was going to break through, and then we were looking for confirmation with a lower high. So let's see how it played out. Okay, so this actually reversed off of support of the range and then gave us a lower high, followed by another one, then the break, and then the retest with an engulfing. So that would have been the lower high confirmation right there, uh, giving us reason to enter and resulting in a pretty good trade. So this would have been a nice short opportunity. Our max target was our weekly. But then just like we saw in AU, this was the pivot point for the daily trend. We're breaking through it. So now we're looking to confirm this break. And we could be officially bearish on the daily for AJ as well. So we'll see. We'll see if it played out well. Let's go to AJ on the chart. So yeah, there's that pivot level here on the daily. We're moving through it, right? These are higher lows. We're breaking those higher lows. That's a transition. It's a change of trend from bullish to bearish once we see that happen. And then yeah, could be going short. Could see some massive shorts here on AJ the next week. And we'll cover that in a couple days. All right, let's move on to the next. UJ. So this one was pretty straightforward. I mean, high volume bullish channel. We're obviously looking to continue with that. So we're looking for buy opportunities. Last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, there were some buy opportunities in here where we're looking for a reversal off this support at 109.15. So there were some entries in here. However, it didn't follow through with the conviction immediately for last week. So if you did catch that reversal, you were holding pretty much all last week, and we were expecting it to push back up to 110, where we reanalyzed and saw that we had two potential opportunities: either a break of resistance and a continuation of this channel, or a reversal and more consolidation between 110 and 109.15. So let's see how it played out. Okay, this thing played out perfectly. It gave us the higher low right above 110. not the most aggressive, like not the best break. I definitely would have liked to see this come up a little bit higher, but then we got great confirmation right here. Beautiful morning star, and the thing obviously surged higher. So if you were able to catch a low time frame entry, you probably would have had a really nice trade, at least 2-1, and yeah, hit the top of the trend line, gave us a new high. Now it's coming back down, potentially forming a higher low, another higher low. So we'll potentially be looking for further entries next week. But I'm going to, again, reanalyze this on Sunday, come up with some more levels, and get a more concrete trade idea. But yeah, I mean, UJ played out great. Huge volume. It's playing within the channel. That's pretty much what you want to see. Very, very good structure. So that was nice. That was nice to see. Let's move on to EJ, and then I'll wrap it up with gold, which is really the heavy hitter for this week, especially in terms of just the amount of pips it moved. But here we are on EJ. So we were bullish for a long, long time. Then we started seeing some consolidation at our high at 134 flat, just flat movement, guys, right? So this is lower time frame range. We finally pushed lower. So that's more of a 1-hour trend change. Okay, we found some support down here at this 4-hour higher low, pushed up, and then finally broke that here. So we were pretty much at our pivot point, right? We're looking more bearish on the 4-hour, 1-hour now. We're at a pivot point, which we know pretty much holds daily structure. If we break below that, we're looking bearish. If we reverse from this level, we're looking for this channel to fill and then potentially a break to the upside. So let's see how it played out. All right, so pretty much it came back up to the top of the channel, didn't break higher. Instead, it met the prior lower high. So still technically bearish, right? It gave us some lower time frame consolidation right here. This looks to be like 30-minute ranging or something, some sort of slow reversal pattern. Then we got some rejection, breaking of that lower time frame higher low, and then right to our pivot point, and then through that. So this probably would have been a little trickier to find an entry on unless you were super confident at the high and were catching some entries on these bearish variations. Other than that, there wasn't much of an entry here because we stopped right at support. So if anything, the only indication here would have been the lack of bullish volume to enter on, but wouldn't have been the most conservative entry, especially considering our stop loss would have been well up here. So the real entry would have been in here. And if you did catch that, that would have been a humongous trade. As you can see, we just started pushing to support levels and then blowing through them. And now we're pretty much down around 130. So 136 area. So pretty crazy trade, but not the clearest. Obviously these trade paths that I draw on Sunday are the most conservative, the most likely scenario that we want to see. And here, it kind of just did its own thing, gave us a lower high, well higher than we thought, but decent enough for an entry. Because even if you did catch this trade up here, that your first target is 132.75, which is a good distance away, and this risk to reward would have made sense. So that's why there was an opportunity in here. However, it didn't follow exactly the trade paths, but at least the sentiment was right for the most part. So massive trade on EJ. Congrats to anyone who caught that. Let's get a look at gold now, which was, yeah, again, the heavy hitter for this week. So overall, we were bullish. So we were pretty much riding with that bullish sentiment. And especially as we're above 1875, again, this is like that huge pivot point. Generally as price action is above this level, we're bullish. If we move below it, we're pretty much bearish. But we were, kind of moving sideways in here. There's a little bit of consolidation here. We broke lower. Now there's some lower consolidation between lower time frame resistance and then major support, obviously. So we're kind of just playing it safe. Wait for a higher low to confirm continuation, or wait for a break lower to get in on a trend change. So obviously we know that the dollar had rallied, so gold shares an inverse relationship. So it started to plummet, and that's literally exactly what we saw, right? It followed the secondary trade path for the bearish scenario. It broke out of support, consolidated, gave us a lower high once, twice, and then dumped. It literally hit our first TP at the weekly level, 18.27.5, hit that level, actually blew right through it, even retested right on the back end of this little candle here, and then continued lower right into 1800, which is where my final TP was. I was not expecting it to go 300 pips past that. So my final TP was at 1800. This was one hell of a drop. Caught about just over 600 pips on this one, down towards 1800. So massive, massive trade. But now we're below it. And we know 1800 is a massive pivot point for the daily as well. And we're moving below it. So we'll see if this sustains for next week. It is very overextended. So it either has to do two things: keep surging lower and then pull back, or it's going to pull back, in which case, this bearish leg is probably not going to be sustained anyway. So we'll see. We'll see next week. We'll come up with some analyses on Sunday for you guys, and give you guys some good potential setups. Maybe we'll see something similar like this. But I mean, these analyses are pretty right for the most part. I would say 60-70% play out pretty exact. One of these two scenarios will play out, so they're useful. I mean, even with a huge news event last week, these were pretty accurate for the most part. Pretty much every one played out. But yeah, so you guys can find these at TradingView. We'll post these links in Discord and Telegram every Sunday, and you guys have access all week. You can just come in and hit this play button. You could even go back to like a month ago, and that play button still works. So definitely utilize them. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So I'm going to pass it off to Angelo, and we'll take a look at his charts.
All right, it's fucking time. It's fucking time. It's time to look at the godly charts, the major pairs here. So guys, if you have any questions, post them in the chat, but we'll pretty much get right into it. First, I'm just going to go over all of the ideas that were published. So obviously, at the beginning of the week, we always put out our ideas. Someone actually wrote in the chat yesterday. They were like, haven't been around for like 6 or 7 months. Do you guys still do the Sunday Market Blitz? We have been doing the Sunday Market Blitz, guys, for almost like 2 years, like a year and a half, every single Sunday. So that just kind of put things into perspective for me. So if you're not taking advantage of the analysis given on Sunday, especially because I normally give out actual trades on the session, and then Nick gives out the main levels. So that is all you really need. You have me giving out trades, Nick giving out the levels to take the trades off of. You know what I mean? So use this to your advantage. So let's start with Euro USD. Let's talk about going into the week, what we were looking for. So we had the weekly time frame here. Weekly time frame, we were just at this previous high point. So as you can see here, price was, I'm just gonna make this bigger. Price had been moving up, guys, into this resistance level. We had our monthly key level up here at 1.23. And look how the candles are forming. We always use the weekly time frame for kind of a one look candlestick analysis. So we can clearly see, hold on, looks like we got some movement in the chat. How was your trade? It is not good to take trades on Sunday. Yeah, we're gonna get into it, Rosa, in a second. It's not that it's not good to take trades on Sunday. Sometimes it is better to wait for the market to move a bit, but with the swing trading strategy, I just set it and forget it. So I set it, I let it play out for the entire week. So sometimes, I am taking trades on Sunday, so I'll go over which ones I got in. So as we can see here, price was moving up. Look how these candles are forming. Let's not overcomplicate it. We had like a spinning top candle, low volume candles. Then we started to go bearish. We had another spinning top candle. These are reversal signals coming in at this high point up here. So I was expecting price to then dip off. Coming back over to the analysis. And then we had the 4-hour time frame. So 4-hour time frame very clearly was in an uptrend. And then we broke down into a downtrend, starting to form lower highs and lower lows. This was the trade last week. We had entered on Sunday, or 2 weeks ago. We had entered on Sunday. We were in drawdown the whole week. Then it finally moved. So we were maintaining that first position. And then what we discussed on Sunday, guys, was we were waiting for a retest of a level. So we were down here at this low. I would only enter this again if we got some sort of retest, some sort of lower high opportunity. Because remember, in swing trading, we don't want to enter at the low. We want to enter at lower high. So what I did was I marked down this level right up here. If we look left, we can clearly see there was support here, some support there, resistance here. And these are all areas where price moved dramatically off of these zones. They rejected it in either direction very aggressively, either way. So when price came back into that zone, that is when I was trying to sell. So price came up into the zone. We had a wick here. So that's where I entered my second position right there. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this up. So that's where I entered the second position for Euro USD this week. I'm just going to pull up my account this week. So it was 1.21230, which is right here was the entry. And then our target was 1.20239, which was 100 pips. So let's go ahead and get on the actual chart. So this is where the entry was right here. This is where our take profit was. We were targeting this previous low. And as you can see, it hit 2-to-1. It actually extended much further. So the original position actually hit our take profit 3-to-1. This was the original swing trade idea that we had marked out. This was just a re-entry idea. And look at the zone I had marked. This is what we were, and we did this on Sunday. I didn't just like add this, throughout the week. This was the zone we had marked. Price came in here, long wick right away. Short stops up here above the high in case price did move back up. So that was Euro USD. Definitely played out really well. Now USF was interesting. I had an opposite idea on USF. The dollar obviously was very strong last week, but USF to me was showing signs that we could have moved to the downside, and I didn't want to break my rules. I wanted to stick to them, so I had entered in this one at 0.89823, which is 89823, which is like right around here. So I had entered right where this is positioned. On the weekly time frame, this is looking back on it, evaluating my trade idea. The weekly time frame, we had all these dojis. So same thing as Euro USD. Look at all these dojis, spinning top, doji, doji. So this is telling me that the market could definitely reverse from this level. But I was looking at the lower time frame, and I got a bit played. So lower time frame, I was like, okay, we're still in a downtrend on the daily time frame. We're still maintaining levels. But then as I came to the 4-hour, I saw we had broke into an uptrend, and there was originally a trend line here, but I took it off, and I just saw that this support level had broken. So we made a new low. So my next move was to take a short on that next lower high, just trying to stick to my rules. This one we got blasted with stop loss. Thing went up. As we know, dollar went up. So I took a loss on that one, a 1% loss. Which is completely okay. So again, this is if you took every trade that was from on the analysis. So let's go next to USD Cad. So this one I stuck with my original idea because USD Cad, we had already been in a swing trade position on this one. We already were swinging this one long. So as we can see here on the weekly time frame, pull this up, we had price forming these dojis down here. So price started to find support, started to slow up a bit. And then end of last week, we had that big push to the upside. 1 second. Sorry about that. So we had this big push to the upside right here. Boom, price moved up. And then going into last week, let's get this off right here. So going into last week, I was simply looking for that next push up. This was like one of my more aggressive style trades that I've taken. We entered at 1.21378, just so you guys can see here. Oh, freezing up a little bit. These are the trades. As you can see, that loss on USD Chf. You guys hear me okay? My connection's getting a little messed up.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, but the video's getting
I'm just
choppy.
gonna turn my video off. So right here, weekly time frame. So yeah, we had price push up. I was looking for the retest of this support level. So we broke support or broke resistance. I was looking for that retest, and that's where we were going to enter long. Price came down, retested the level. I entered literally on this wick right here in this area, and then we had our next position. This thing flew up all the way up to the monthly level. I didn't hold it all the way, but we could go ahead and come to USD. What was that? We'll pull up USD Chf first. So this was that idea. Boom, invalidated. I had my key level here, just got smoked on that one. But USD Cad, we were on the right side of this one. So this was the idea long right here. I was really entering it as we were at this level. And then I had it at 2-to-1. Thing ended up going all the way to 6-to-1. Shot all the way up to that level. I didn't hold on for that long, guys. I only hit it at 2-to-1. But regardless, still a great trade. Still what we were looking for. And we'll go over next week because this is now looking like a short. We're up at the resistance right here. We made that nice move up. So tune in on Sunday as we'll go over what's good for the next week with this one. Let's look at GU next. So we had GU on the weekly time frame. We can clearly see that price rejected this resistance. So guys, we're moving up. Don't overcomplicate things. We had the wick here telling me that buyers got liquidated. Boom, pushed down. So definitely a key level right here. Price moved up, got all these winning top candles at the top here. So we're starting to reverse. But the only thing that had me weary going into the week was this wick. So this wick, I was like, okay, what's going on with that? As I moved down to the lower time frame, this was my one of two ideas. We were either looking for a short on the retest up here, a short if this level broke, or a long if this managed to move to the upside. As we can see here, perfect trade, guys. This one moved down, came up for the retest right here, and then pushed to the downside. Literally like 300 pips to the downside.
Yeah.
I didn't catch the whole move, but I did manage to get in some. So this was like, for whatever reason, guys, swing trading is coming back. Like it was dead for a little while, but it's coming back.
I think that the mix of the election and COVID made unnatural market movements and kind of made things more on a day-to-day basis. You saw some other strategies start to be, highlighted during those times, and but once normal, price action resumes, once normal structure resumes, that's really all we're applying. We're just trying to trend trade and hold for a couple days, and that's what's working.
Yep. So we had this one, guys, where again, I was either looking to short it if it came up here because we're just clearly in a downtrend right here, or if price managed to break, we were just going to short it at the retest. So this one obviously didn't play out. This one played out. This one obviously didn't play out. I got the short in right there at 1.41072. So like right here is where I took the short. Thing dumped 120 pips, ended up going 300 pips. I didn't catch the whole move, but you guys get the idea. So just super simple, multiple different variation of entries. If it came up here, I would have got it. If it came here, I got it. If it came up here for the long, I would have got it. So map out every possible scenario. So you guys have a good chance of, catching the trades. Let's go next to NU. I didn't take an order on this one for the week, but we can take a look at the analysis. So NZD USD weekly time frame, we have this push down, large bearish candle right here. Boom, closed below the monthly or the support level. So that was good. Looking to continue to short this one with that in mind. And then coming to the 4 hour, we can clearly see momentum broke, our trend line broke, lower high formed. Now we're at this level. I was not going to short it unless we came up for another lower high up here, or we had the break in the retest, and I believe we had the break in the retest. Same thing as GU, boom, break, retest. Could have used this one, and this was a super tight stop loss, a lot tighter than I normally put on. And let's see. Ooh, barely would have made it. So if you use the stop, unless you have a shit broker, you could have gotten stopped out using this. Let's see.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's true too. I've actually been seeing that a lot during times of like high volume, depending on the broker you have, guys. Again, we see this all the time in the community. People get stopped out because of high spreads, or their broker just sucks. It's manipulating. So
Yep.
it's pretty important that you have the right broker, guys, and that you've tested that broker and someone you could trust.
Yeah, guys, we use only FX choice. Rajat worked, took well. Yeah, I wrote that. Yeah, so we use FX Choice, guys. That's the broker we recommend. We're going to talk more about them in the future or soon. You get 20% deposit bonus if you use our link. So more details on that coming. But all of our accounts are on FX Choice. All of our live accounts, they're regulated. Luckily, we were able to get approved, even though they don't accept US clients. So we are blessed in that sense. But yeah, if you took the trade and used the tight stop, you could have made it if your spreads were less than, or if the spread was less than a pip. This was like a 1.3 pip, margin here where it wouldn't have gotten stopped. I would have probably, moved stops a little bit higher, but again, that would have been a 6 to 1, even more. So not everyone accepts the U.S., Nick, because the U.S. the regulations call for everyone to use, what is it, 1 to 50 leverage max.
Yeah, 1 to 50.
So these European brokers allow you to use like 1 to 200, and leverage that's a little bit too high for U.S. clients. And there's a lot of regulatory concerns with trading in the U.S., so they just kind of try to avoid taking on U.S. clients. But yeah, this thing dropped pretty dramatically. Let's go down to the actual chart. Bring this one on. Boom. So this was the idea on the chart. Let's go ahead and bring it over, see if it would have got stopped. So it would have made it by like literally less than a pip, 2 pips. So maybe spread would have held up on that one. Who knows? But regardless, definitely a good idea there, guys. And if we even look, this is the 4 hour. So 4 hour, this was that trend line. Momentum was bullish. We started to consolidate at the top, hit our resistance, and then we finally got that lower high and started to map this out on Sunday. So it was a little bit more clear. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And we either were looking for the retest or the break and retest, which we got. And although I put this on, guys, like it's not doesn't have to come all the way down here. Notice we had the support level. This is our key level that was drawn. We broke, retested, and that was the short. So that was NZD USD. Last, we're going to go over GJ. I didn't take any trades on this one personally last week. This was not my most high probability idea, but still, regardless, it was definitely an opportunity. So on the monthly, just looking at it now, this thing is bullish, but we were at a resistance level, the 155, 500 area. And look how price was spiking down into support, 154 right here, excuse me. So I was actually expecting this to continue bearish. I was expecting price to respect this 155. Or not expecting, I had an idea that it would. We were bearish here with this trend line. If we broke the trend line, that's when I would flip and look for the longs. And this one just didn't play out, as well as I would have liked. We had a break of the trend line right here. We had we found support, which is where I would have realistically started to buy. And then we moved up about 50 pips. So we could have made this one break even, considering my stops on this one were 25 pips. We could have made this one a break even trade before it dumped, but then it just ended up falling off. So this idea, not the best, for the week, but that's okay, guys. We had a bunch of good analysis given out. So that's pretty much everything I gave. Trades that I took were EU, USF, UCAD, and GU. This week, 4.8% was made simply by entering on Sunday and then just set it and forget it for the week. So if you guys want to trade with us this week, just hop on the Sunday session. We'll cover again all of the analysis for the week. We'll drop it in the Telegram, and then we'll hop on the Sunday Market Blitz at 8 p.m. And we will go over everything. And if anyone in here is in the signal room, I'm going to go ahead. I want to share one thing. Yesterday, I put together a video that I want to make sure you guys watch because it was definitely very, very valuable. So I've been putting together what's called an aggressive risk strategy. Um, this is something that is meant to help you guys maintain your orders and understand where you could actually potentially re-enter. So I dropped the video in here. It's 20 minutes long. I'm also going to put it inside of the signals course. But basically, this video is all about, guys, when you go into drawdown, how to get out of the drawdown, where to exit your trades. Some of our signals, the stop losses are really wide. So I also talk about how to set your key levels. So that way, when the trade potentially goes against you, you can use those key levels and be more confident while you're sitting in the trade, or know that you should exit the trade. So that was dropped yesterday inside of the rapid signal room. As of next month, this is going to be our only signal room. We're going to combine this with the learn and earn. So there will be a live call for the New York session. And then there will just be literally 10 to 20 signals per day. And you guys see the summaries coming out every single week. We've been doing really well in there. Don't get me wrong. There are some losses for sure. But overall, we're making profits. The members are making profits. So if you're interested in that, you can join. And yeah, we're definitely super excited. So that's it for the weekly analysis review. We'll be back Sunday. And as always, guys, thank you so much for all the support.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Peace out, everybody.